Cubs are looking to add to that pitching staff between now and the deadline. And don't get this wrong. The Giants and the Red Sox have opened that deadline up, and it's about to really start to kick off. Two likely trade partners for the Cubs. I'm going to give you a third. We're going to talk about Fangraphs that have the Cubs over 85% to make the playoffs, over 75% to win the division, a division that they struggled against in the last few years, but they have dominated so far this year. That and injury updates right here on the Cubs Baseball channel. Like, subscribe, thumbs up. Thank you, guys, as we try to get to 10,000 subscribers. Let's do it before the Cubs win the World Series this year. Hey, Cardinals fans, great to see you guys. Are you still in third? Oh, what a great season. Maybe we'll trade with you. Nah. What do you say, everybody? Cubs Baseball Channel, Mick Gillespie here. Thank you so much for hanging with us on a daily basis and being part of what we do here on the channel, for being here every day as we talk Cubs and being part of what I really feel like is a great community of Cubs fans. And we talk a lot about what this team looks like. We're pretty fired up about this year's team. So yesterday off, back in action today against the division. The Cubs have done really well against the NL Central this year, 11-5. This was one of the things that I talked about at the beginning of the year. You got to dominate against your division. It's not as big a deal as it was in the past just because you don't play them as much as you used to. But you got to beat those teams in your division. And the Cubs were struggling against those interdivisional foes in the last few years. That's not the case this year. They win series. That the Pirates was a tough series, but the Cubs won it facing some of the best pitching in the NL, right? And the Pirates are out of it again, which is pretty crazy to say when you look at them and you go, how are you guys out with all that really good young pitching? Well, with that said, I'm going to throw a couple of teams up there that we've talked about on this channel that the Cubs are most likely to trade with between now and the deadline. One of them is the Pittsburgh Pirates. And I know the Pirates are in our division. They're in a divisional opponent. I wouldn't call them a rival. They haven't been in the playoffs in a long time, at least not that I can remember. The last time they had a legitimate chance to win the World Series, they had Barry Bonds and Bobby Bonilla. How long ago was that? It was before Bonds, balked up. Remember when he balked up, became like a Superman? That long ago. They have some of the best arms, though, in baseball. Maybe they make a deal where they trade. And we talked about Andrew Haney being a guy that the Cubs might want. How about the video that we did on Paul Skeens? Would the Pirates really trade Skeens? I don't know. I mean, I think if they got the right deal, they might. The Pirates are probably looking at the Cubs minor league, that AAA team, and going, Owen Casey would be someone that would terrorize the Cubs and the rest of the league if we got him. What are you willing to give up to get him if you're the Cubs? Talking about the starting pitcher, Haney. I don't know. But would you give up Owen Casey, and would you trade him to a team that you're going to see a lot? And nothing against Alexander Canario. He's a good player. We know him. He was with us. We gave him away for nothing. He's okay. He's good. He's got potential. Casey's a star. And you guys get in there and you're like, man, you're really on Casey. Look, I'm just telling you, the guy's got it. He's got the same stuff that Pete Crow Armstrong and Cade Horton have. When you watch him, you're just like, hey, this is different. And the Cubs know that. They don't have a spot for him. Are they going to sign Kyle Tucker? That, to me, is the big question. You have to sign Tucker if you're going to trade him. But ESPN just put out a list of the executives that are on the hottest seats that have to make things happen. And guess who's right in the middle of it? Jed Hoyer. So he may say, you know what, I don't care that much about what this is going to look like in 2 years because, I may be somebody else's assistant instead of being the guy. And he'll never get he'll never, ever get another GM or president's job being the number one guy if he fails this year. And if he fails this year, that means he doesn't make the playoffs. And he doesn't get an extension. Maybe he makes the playoffs, they make a run. Cubs don't re-sign him and he gets another chance. I don't think it's going to happen. I think these jobs are so precious. They're so hard to come by. He's been part of World Series teams, but he's always known as kind of the backup. He's never been known as the Tom Brady. He's always been Drew Brees. maybe even less than that because he's younger, but he's just, kind of a guy. Got to win now. And this year's team has done everything it can to put the Cubs in a chance and a position to win. Diamondbacks have not one but two starters that are going to be free agents. We talked about both of those guys, Zach Gallen being one of them. You look at him and you're like, hey, not having the best year, but he's the type of talent that maybe a change of scenery gets him there. I think Wrigley's an easier place to pitch in when the wind's blowing in than anywhere. When the wind's blowing out, hey, keep the ball down. But they've got two starters over there. The Pirates have, there's maybe three different guys that they could potentially trade. Although I don't think they're going to trade Skeens. I mean, unless somebody absolutely blew him away. I mean, it would be a complete blockbuster deal to make that happen, and the fan base might revolt, right? Last year's Rookie of the Year, and a guy that's going to be a perennial Cy Young Award contender, right? But with that said, the other teams, maybe Baltimore, right? I mean, the Orioles are having the type of season that is a disaster. They were expecting to continue what they've been doing, and that is compete for championships, and they haven't done it. So, we'll see what it looks like. Shota Imanaga, I'm going to get into him in a second. He's going to be back soon, and that's going to make the Cubs staff deeper. Cubs have an 87% chance to make the playoffs right now. Think about that. Now, we're June 17th. We've got a long way to go. So it's not like it's happening today or tomorrow. But it's a good feeling to look on there and go, hey, where this franchise to me has struggled is through it's just putting themselves in position. I feel like over the last couple of years, they've been a team that in the middle of the season played really well and then faded late. Last year, they faded and then tried to make a push at the end of the year, and it just felt like it was too little too late. This year, they have a 5.5 game lead, playing good baseball, sometimes great baseball, having trouble scoring, winning games. Score, win games. Pitching does well, win games. Pitching struggles. They still figure out a way to win. That's what great teams do. And adding someone to the top of the rotation, and we've talked about this on here a lot, is only going to make this team better. So look for the Pirates, the Diamondbacks, and possibly Baltimore as being teams that could potentially, help the Cubs with a deal here. I wonder though if you're Baltimore and your problem is pitching, although their hitting hasn't been there either, would you really want to trade Zach Eflin, your ace pitcher, in a deal? I mean, you'd have to get back pitching that you felt like was right on the doorstep. And, with the Cubs' 77% chance to win the division, 87% chance to make the playoffs, they're right in position to get things done. And I think that's super exciting for this team, but still a long way to go. Now, injury updates as we head into this series with Milwaukee. Shota Imanaga, maybe one more rehab just to get him stretched out to be able to throw 80 pitches. He's been fine. He's been good. Iowa saw him, AAA Iowa. He's been good. He's ready to go. So that's the first guy. He's going to be a big asset to the Cubs. He's their best player. I mean, he was last year anyway. Maybe not when you compare him to Tucker and Pete Crow Armstrong all alone at the top. But without Justin Steele, having Shota ready to go is super important, right? So there you go. Good news on Shota. Possibly one more time, maybe one more rehab. But his AAA start, what he's been able to do has been great. We'll see him Friday. So he's going to pitch on Friday, and then I think they're going to figure it out. And who knows? Maybe he could be back before the Cubs play the Cardinals. That'd be great. We'll see what happens. All right. So he's around the corner. Now, I hated it when Kyle Tucker got hit by that pitch. Isn't that what happened? Did he get hit by a pitch? Somehow he's got that jammed index finger. And it's like, and somebody's going to tell me I got the wrong finger. Maybe I do. Let me think here. He is, I think, the most important player on the roster. Outside of Dansby Swanson, just because he's your leader. You're paying him a lot. Ring finger. Sprained ring finger. Happened on June 1st. And since that time, Tucker has struggled. I mean, and for him, struggling just means he's just not ripping the cover off the ball. And he was out of the lineup on Sunday. Shota played right field. That may be more what they need to do. He did pinch hit in the game, and then they walked him, so we didn't even see him. But he's hitting .244 since that injury with a home run in the games he's played in June, which is, I think, like 13 now. And the Cubs are going to need him back. And he's not left, but they need him healthy. And that's somebody to keep an eye on. And I think that's probably why the Cubs offense has struggled a little bit. I mean, that Pirates series, you're looking for some offense. You're not getting it. Hey, your best player's kind of banged up right now. So that was one. And then we talked about Shota. We'll see him Friday in Iowa. And then what he does after that could be with the Cubs. And then Drew Pomerantz, who has been just an absolute find for the Cubs. And I almost feel like with Pomerantz, I mean, who could have ever expected the former first-round pick to come into his own? But he's been amazing. And he's been just someone that we absolutely thought was going to be, hey, maybe he pitches a couple games. They got him from Seattle. And instead, he's been like lights out. I mean, he's been at the best out of the bullpen. But he wasn't available on Sunday, and he's had some lower back tightness issues. But apparently it was just that and this is smart, they didn't want to have him go back-to-back days. They need to rest Pomerantz. So this is a guy that has dealt with injuries in the past and hasn't been in the major league since 21. But the dude's pitched 25-plus innings, and he hasn't given up a run yet. So another guy to keep an eye on. When Shota comes back, what's going to happen to the rotation? I still feel like Ben Brown is a guy who could potentially go to the bullpen, but Colin Ray's the other guy. They both have been up and down. I think Ben Brown could help you in the bullpen, but do you want to make him a bullpen pitcher? The other thing is maybe you do a 6-man rotation and you give everybody a little rest through the All-Star break and try to take advantage of the fact that you got a big lead for first. But the pitching's been great. The bullpen's been great. Watching Presley kind of turning around, hey, very impressive. And Daniel Palencia is, to me, still the closer. As good as Presley's been, I like having both guys. I like the competition. Give me the competition. Hey, are you better? Well, then go prove it. Because it's only going to make your entire team a better team. All right, guys, that's it for today. Obviously, going up against the Brewers, another chance to kind of reign superior in the NL Central. Thank you for being here. Please like and subscribe. Please share with your friends. Thank you for being a part of this, though. It's a labor of love. Somebody asked me on Twitter the other day, one of you guys, my favorite Cubs team outside of 84 and 2016. And honestly, for me, it was 87 because I loved Andre Dawson. And I knew like Rick Sutcliffe was kind of at the end of his Cubs career. Greg Maddux was starting his career. I love that team. I watched them on WGN every day. I totally got into Harry and Steve on the TV. Loved it. The other team I would say was like 07, 08. I love those teams too. I hated that they got into the postseason and they didn't do better. Anyway, that's the show for today. Thank you for being here and hanging out. And we'll do it again tomorrow. Go Cubs.